Welcome to Buenos Aires, Argentina for this FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 qualifier between Panama and Venezuela. This is the first of 6 qualification windows as teams look to fight across the globe for their place at the World Cup in Asia in 2023. It's game day 2 here in Group A in the Americas region of the qualification process. Venezuela and Argentina picked up wins on game day 1. And plenty of action across the globe we've seen. Here is the table as it stands right now. Venezuela, top of the table with the win. And Argentina up there as well with a win. That's slightly misleading, that graphic. Panama take on Venezuela and Paraguay take on Argentina today.
Número 8, David Cubillana. Número 9, Pedro Chourio. Con la 13, José Ascanio. 14, Miguel Ruiz.
Venezuela, their win was built purely on a team performance, as has this renaissance of Venezuelan basketball. 4 players in double digits in their win yesterday over Panama, playing unselfish offense, dishing out 19 assists for their 77 points. And there's definitely still room for improvement, though. They didn't look great from the free throw line, just 56%.
Y Ronald Guillén. Le damos la bienvenida y presentamos con un fuerte aplauso
Panama introduced to the arena. Great to have fans back in the stands to make noise for their team. Panama struggled yesterday to protect the ball, turned it over 20 times in that game. It really does feel like that's one of the 2 keys for Panama having a chance of winning today. First, protect their possession, and the second is team basketball. They had only 10 assists in yesterday's game, and that suggests they're relying on individual talent rather than the strength of the team as a unit. And coming up against a team like Venezuela, that is only going to take you so far. We'll now have a break in the commentary as we respect the playing of both national anthems, and we set the scene for a big game of international basketball. First will be the national anthem of Venezuela, followed by the national anthem of Panama.
Les pedimos por favor a todos que se pongan de pie para escuchar las estrofas del himno nacional de Venezuela. A continuación, permanecemos de pie para escuchar las estrofas del himno nacional de Panamá.
The scene is perfectly set for a big game of international basketball. The fans are getting themselves ready. The coaching staff on point, and the players are going to enter their final preparations now. And really, this is a huge game for Panama after losing by 21 points to Venezuela yesterday. How will they react? How will they come back out of the blocks? This Venezuelan team looked good, looked strong. Plenty of players returning from what was an impressive turnout in Kaunas, Lithuania in the summer in their attempt to qualify for the Olympics. Unfortunately for them, they went up against what were to be final fourth placed Olympic team in Slovenia, led by the phenom that is Luka Doncic. But Venezuela certainly did themselves proud, held their own in what was a tough group. As for Panama, how can they turn things around? How can they make a difference today? Here are our officials for this evening's game. We've got Andre Gaston Bartelmena, Grant Tody, and Sebastian Negron from Uruguay, USA, and Chile, respectively. Strong officiating crew. I'm sure they're looking forward to the game as much as we are, as well as the Venezuelans that enter their last preparations. And Venezuela are one of those teams that just keep seeming to roll out athletic, strong, intelligent talent. Several players on the verge of retirement or have recently retired, and the next wave of Venezuelan basketball superstars seems to be filling in the gaps that have been left behind. As for Panama, they certainly need more of a team effort. They lent on Ogilvy a lot yesterday. They need some more of the veteran players around him to pick up the pace, pick up some of the slack. Expect bigger performances today from the likes of Tyler Gaskins and Yosemar Blenman. Here's the starting five for Venezuela. It's Zamora, Cubian, Chario, Ruiz, and Colmenares. A strong five, plenty of experience to get the job done. And then you look out onto the bench and the likes of Windy Graterol and Soho. Plenty of talent that's going to come off that bench as well and inject some energy into this performance. And Coach Duro there, he is a man that has been around the basketball block a few times. Appointed the head coach of Venezuela 4 years ago now, a 31-year coaching career. Certainly seen some ups and some downs. Here is the starting five for Panama. We've got Gaskins, Ayaza, Hicks, Ogilvy, and Blenman. And again, looking forward to seeing if we can get more out of the likes of Gaskins and Ayaza than we maybe saw yesterday. Gaskins a facilitator, but would be good to see him contribute maybe more on the offensive end. Coach Flor Melendez, plenty of experience as well, both as a player and as a coach. Played in the Olympics for Puerto Rico back in 1968. Coached the Puerto Rican national team for a couple of seasons as well. Now head coach here in Panama. Already brings a ton of experience to the Panamanian basketball setup. We're now just moments away from the opening tip here in Buenos Aires. Argentina hosting our qualification group here, providing a safe haven as the pandemic is still obviously clearly impacting procedures for basketball across the world. But before we get started, just a reminder, if you want to stay up to date with everything that goes across these 6 qualification windows for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023, the only way, the best way, is to download the World Cup Qualifiers app. It's available on iOS and Android, completely free. Make sure you get your phones out now, get that one downloaded, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all the stats, all the reviews, interviews, press conferences, you name it. They're all on that app, so make sure you get your phones out now and get that one downloaded. Fans are ready to go. We've got some Panama fans there. I'm sure they're going to make some noise through the game. They'll certainly want to see a change in flow from the game yesterday. We're underway here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. World Cup qualifier, Panama taking on Venezuela, and straight to the bucket, no good on what looked like a gimme early on. Cubian couldn't quite believe his eyes, I think, when the lane opened up so wide for him to exploit. Hicks now kicks it back out. Poor pass, but it's held on to by Ayaza. Back to Hicks. Shaping up against Chaudio, gets the shot away, in and out. That might have settled some nerves if they got that one to drop early. Zamora hands it off. Kubian to Zamora, little fake, steps in long two, and that one's good. And you can hear there are quite a few Venezuelan fans in the crowd. Trying to feed the post, that's been thrown straight out of bounds. They're saying it wasn't. Here's a replay of that jumper. Panama certainly playing a little bit more intensity on the ball defense than they did yesterday. Can't quite fight through that screen. Chaudio, though, kicks it back out. Ruiz hands it back to him, and as always, Venezuela move the ball so well. They play real team basketball. Shot clock running out. He gets there in time. There's the offensive rebound. Can he go back up? No, he's going to come back out with the ball. Back out to Chaudio for another three. He can't find the target again, and foul's going to be called on Michael Hicks. And as it stands, Venezuela dominating the early exchanges here. Baseline ball inbounded. Kubian is going to be fouled by Gaskins. 2 early fouls for Panama now. Under 2 minutes in, and Venezuela already have 3 rebounds to Panama's 1. There's the pass into the low post. Colmenares looking to go to work, goes off the glass, a little bit heavy-handed, and the rebound is pulled down by Ogilvy. Shot up, no good. Good rebound, though, by Blenman. Oh, another strong move inside by Ogilvy. Gets the offensive rebound, and Panama are now controlling the boards. And one play, Michael Hicks. And that was just pure determination from Panama. And Venezuela will be slightly concerned that they're not able to control their own paint. We see first offensive rebound there, and then a strong move to the basket, and they're forced to foul him, but not foul him hard enough. He'll head to the line for free throws. Hicks, quite disappointingly, only had 3 points in the game yesterday, but at 45 years of age, he must be one of the oldest players to be taking part in the World Cup qualifiers anywhere around the world this weekend. Zamora. Chaudio now to Kubian, and Venezuela showing some patience. Lovely pick and roll. Ball gets caught with Ruiz, and he's going to travel. The defense rotated well. They looked like they were in trouble for a second, but the way they rotated kind of put Miguel Ruiz at edge, forced him into that travel. Slowing it down now. Double team coming in onto Gaskins. The double team's pushed him all the way over the half. And that's going to fall into the hands of Chaudio. Back to Colmenares. Venezuela once again slow things down. They seem quite content with playing half-court offense. Colmenares, Chaudio for 3. Doesn't get it to go, and Venezuela certainly shot the ball well in that first game. Over 30% from outside. They threw up 33 three-point attempts, so they're going to live by it. They're going to die by it. That one's knocked away, but it hits the support of the basket, so it will remain a Venezuela ball, but they have 0.2 seconds to do anything with it. I'm not sure they'll be able to get much away in that time. Lob pass in. Ooh, almost makes it go. In the end, Panama are slightly lucky. They didn't really play strong defense. They should have defended the paint and given up the long shot, because you can't catch and shoot from that. It would have to have been a tip. Strong move inside now. Yaza throws it away though. Zamora hands it off. Colmenares passes it to the baseline now. Kubian. No joy, and once again, Venezuela are getting wide open shots, and eventually they're going to fall. So Panama will have to tighten up their defense, but Venezuela will be slightly concerned. They've not had it yet. Easy pass to pick out, and Colmenares will light the crowd up with the two-hander. Just sails to the basket and throws it down. Venezuela back out into a lead in what is an of the game. Kubian now playing the pick and roll game again. Ruiz inside, don't get the score. Colmenares, just a bull of a man in the paint. Let's have a look at the replay, and that's wonderful team offense again. That's a clear foul from Blenman on Colmenares. Coach Duro. Nothing really phases him. Part of the Argentinian coaching staff that won Olympic gold back in 2004. Other end of the floor, another supremely experienced coach in Flor Melendez. Zamora puts the jumper up, it's too heavy, and Venezuela still struggling with their jump shot. Gaskins, shot goes up, no good as well. Back of the iron and away. Kubian now waits for the screen. The pick and roll certainly has been effective for Venezuela in the first 5 minutes of this game. Zamora pulls inside, short range jumper, again no good. Rebound pulled down by Colmenares. And he is having a monster night so far. 4 points, 4 rebounds for him. Almost stolen away again, but Gaskins will manage to hold on to possession for Panama. Five and a half minutes gone in this game. Exceptionally low scoring. Panama 5, Venezuela 6. We're going to see Gali Soho come into the game, and he is has the potential and the ability to be a bit of a human highlight reel. Foul's going to be called on Kubian as he just bundles Gaskins over the halfway. Now the change as we see Ascanio come in for Venezuela. Colmenares just taking a well-earned breather. Certainly come in and imposed himself on the game, the big man. Ogilvy looking for options in front of him. Venezuelan defense is pretty good at dealing with the switch. Strong move to the basket, goes very strong and gets the score. Panama take the lead back on that score from Ogilvy. Kubian. Chaudio now uses the screen. Didn't roll to the basket, rolled away. Might make more sense to roll towards. And Ruiz nails the baseline jumper. And the noise from the crowd isn't necessarily for that shot. It's just, I think, for the Venezuelan fans to see their team hit any form of jump shot right now. Ayaza gets the shot away. Foul's going to be called on Soho. have a look at the replay of the jump shot from the corner. Short corner jumper, not the most orthodox of shooting styles. Puts his hand, his resting hand, supporting hand almost over the top of the ball. But it certainly worked in that instance. Ayaz are now at the line for free throws. Perfect from the free throw line in yesterday's game. Didn't get there too many times, but didn't miss. That's all you can ask from him. Plays domestically in Colombia. Hits both from the free throw line, and Panama again out to a 1-point lead. Alejandro Grant comes into the action for the first time tonight for Panama. Didn't play a huge amount yesterday, only played 8 minutes, but managed to notch up 3 points and 3 rebounds in that time. So certainly had an impact and made the most of his 8 minutes. Wendy Gatteral is already in as well. There's the backdoor pass, and Chario certainly shows some appreciation for the pass. It was an easy score from him in the end. Venezuela now with the full court press. It's paid off straight away. Chario gets the score. And a few discussions at the moment between the Panamanian players. I'm not sure Gaskins should be moaning at his teammate when you're trying to inbound the ball. And Panama again about to cough it up. No, they just about hold on to possession. Gaskins now. Drives through the middle of the 2 defenders, kicks it out to Hicks. Hicks for 3. Doesn't get the score. Rebound ripped down by Soho. Pass inside. Graterol with the easy score. And timeout's going to be called. Venezuela finding their way again. And you can hear the appreciation from the fans. They're definitely picking the decibel levels up in the arena. And rightfully so. Their team lead by 5 in what's been a low-scoring game so far. And wonderful to hear the crowd noise. Let's see if we can jump into this Panama timeout huddle.
Oye, si discuten, se acaba el timeout y no hablo. Se acaba el timeout y no hablo, coño. El que tiene que sacarse el hombre encima es el point guard. Los grandes. Si yo tengo el point guard aquí, yo estoy aquí jugando una cortina para que busque la bola. No se queden parados. No se vayan a correr. No se vayan a correr. Si la bola está aquí, yo no puedo estar aquí. Tengo que estar más cerca de la bola para que puedan pasar. Háganle cortina a la bola. Los grandes, cortina a la bola. En la ofensiva, hay un grande que se movió. El otro grande tiene que estar aquí.
At 74 years of age, Coach Flor Melendez certainly hasn't lost any of the passion for the game. The way he communicates with such intention and power. It's hard not to buy into whatever he's preaching. Just managed to hold on to what was a tough pass in the end for Hicks to bring down. He does so though, and Panama will get their offense up and running. Grant now hands it off back to Hicks. No good. Chario with the rebound. Cubian. Quick spin is there and tries to pass it away. It was just due to the loss of handle that he couldn't pick the pass up to dish it off early enough. And another turnover for Panama, and this was the blight of their game yesterday. They turned it over 20 times in the game against Venezuela yesterday. Today, so far, already 6 turnovers. So they're on track to turn the ball over even more than they did yesterday, and it's going to be tough to win a game against a team the quality of Venezuela if you turn the ball over so much. Soho drives inside, strong move, swatted away, but he's drawn the foul. Foul called on Grant. Soho will head to the line for 2 free throws. Strong move, and yeah, easy call for the officials. Grant clearly putting his arm across Soho's arms. Smart move by Grant, though, just to make sure that he swatted the shot away and didn't give up the 3-point play. Soho scores the first of his 2. Really had a breakout in the Olympic qualifying tournament in Kaunas. 7.3 points and 5 rebounds a game he averaged in there. Bear in mind, he's just 22 years of age. Definitely one of the future superstars of Venezuelan basketball. And Venezuela now dropping into a 2-2-1 press. Looking just really to slow down Panama and make them burn some of their shot clock. Atencio now. Grant, high arcing 3. Looked like it kind of slipped out of his fingers as he released those, so that one comes up short. Gratterol now hands it off. Back out to Soho. Once again, Venezuela not finding any fortune from range. Drives to baseline and throws it down with the one hand. Martinez comes into the game and gets the crowd on their feet. Shot goes up from Ogilvy, and this is worrying signs from Panama right now. They've lost any form of structure on the offensive end. Once again, Martinez fades away, gets the score, and quick back-to-back baskets for him. Another one of the youngsters, 24 years of age. Didn't manage to get on the scoreboard yesterday. He's made amends for that almost instantly today. Foul's going to be called on Martinez. Here's the pass to the baseline. Shot fake was enough to create the space he needed. Rises up with a one-handed flush. Almost knocked away. It is stolen away. What a great play. Huge credit goes to Ascanio. Foul, I think, is going to be called on Grant again. That's 2 quick fouls for Alejandro Grant. And I'm sure you can read the body language of Melendez. Slightly frustrated with how his team in the last 3 or 4 minutes have just really kind of abandoned any form of team structure offensively. They've gone back to playing as individuals. It's what they did yesterday, and it certainly cost them dearly, and it's costing them dearly here in the first quarter. 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And at the moment, Panama trail by 11 with Zamora at the line with the chance to extend that Venezuelan lead further. Misses the first of his 2. Only shot 50% from the line yesterday. Connects with the second. 2 seconds. Can Panama do anything with it before the end of the first quarter break? Doesn't look like they can. And that's going to be the buzzer for the end of the first quarter. And after an exceptionally slow start to proceedings here in Buenos Aires, we have seen Venezuela put their foot on the accelerator. At the end of the first quarter, Panama 9, Venezuela 21. Here are your shooting statistics from that first quarter. Neither team hitting a shot from range. Venezuela just having more shot attempts. They've had 16 two-pointers compared to paltry 6 for Panama. Here are some of the highlights from that first quarter. As I say, an exceptionally slow start to the first quarter. Neither team finding their form. Venezuela leaning heavily on the jump shot, and that hadn't paid dividends for them. But then Venezuela just found a way to score inside and score with ease. That's given them a 21-9 lead at the end of the first quarter. No player for Panama has scored more than 1 field goal. Michael Hicks is leading them with just 3 points. He has a rebound to his name as well. That's as Venezuela Impressive start. They've already got 7 players on the scoreboard. 3 players on 4 points. Martinez, Chaudio, and Colmenares. However, it is that team ethos that is key for Venezuela's success. Another one of the pickouts from that first quarter was just Panama once again not looking after their possession. 7 turnovers in the first quarter. Venezuela only turned the ball over once. And Venezuela have made them pay. They've scored 7 points from those turnovers. So it's now down to Panama to make a change. But if you want to stay up to date with all the stats that I'll be using throughout the game, then there's your QR code. Get your phones out, scan that. That will take you straight away to the stats where you need to be. Remember, download the app as well. Plenty of access to statistics through that app. But Coach Duro will consider this to be a quarter of a job done so far. Yes, his team were dominant in the closing minutes of that first quarter. They lead by 12. But there's still 30 minutes of action ahead, and going head-to-head with a coach like Flor Melendez that we see on screen isn't an easy task. Second quarter action underway here in Buenos Aires. At the end of the first quarter, Venezuela lead by 12. Panama really hitting a bit of a self-destruct button in that first quarter somewhat, turning the ball over 7 times and not leaning on each other, not playing team basketball offensively. And Venezuela, although a slow start, soon found a way through the gears to help them accelerate out to that lead. Kando hands it off now to Hedion. He draws the foul on his way to the basket. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Just scored 2 points in the game yesterday, the veteran guard. Scores the first of his 2. Rattles home the second as well. And it's important for Panama, if they're to fight their way back into this in the second quarter, that they really don't let any opportunity slip, and the free throw line could be a real opportunity for them. Venezuela play physical defense. They fouled 20 times in yesterday's game. If they can capitalize on that, they could come away with some easy points. Hedion now moves it out. Oh, a long skip pass into the hands of Gaskins. Moving the ball well. Back over to Buscando. Hedion. No joy in it. Seemed that they almost did the opposite of what they have been doing. Too much team basketball. Plenty of open shots were available. But they didn't decide to take any of those opportunities, instead waiting for a slightly more difficult opportunity later in the shot clock. Strong move to the basket. The score is going to be good. Zamora getting the 2. He's up to 5 points personal now. Let's have a look at the replay with the spin. Little hesitation, drive through, draws the foul off Buscando. You can see the body, the hip check. You can take your pick on the fouls from Eugenio Buscando. Zamora now at the line for his bonus free throw. Colmenares has come back in. Ascanio has headed out for Venezuela. This is the bonus though, and this was where Venezuela struggled yesterday. They shot just 56% from the free throw line, and maybe against tougher opposition than Panama, that could have cost them the game. It was Kando now. Stolen away, a little bit loose with his handles. Soho on the floor, gets it away, Graterol hands it back, strong move to the basket, and the score is good. This time it's Martinez with the score. And that's just from pure defensive hustle. We have a player on the floor in a lot of playing. It looks like, is it heading on? Let's have a look. Looks like he took a shot to the eye. Here's the replay. So it's lost by Loscando. They head to the floor. Oh, and he takes a foot to the eye, not a finger. And just a strong upper body move from Martinez. And you see in the background what it means to his teammates on the bench. And oh yeah, heel of the boot in the eye. That's a sore one. Martinez just floats up, pure control, and you see the fans as well showing their appreciation for the work of Edgar Martinez. 14-point lead for Venezuela now. Remember, also in this group are Argentina and Paraguay. Little Euro step to the basket, off target from Gaskins. Just took the offense on his own shoulders there. Colmenares, Graterol can't quite hold on to the pace of the pass. Gaskins moves it back. Hedion, shot goes up. It's going to be baseline though. It's before the shot was released. That foul's going to be called. I'm not sure. I think it may be on Martinez. Let's have a look. That'll be a baseline ball anyway for Panama. In fact, Colmenares was called for the foul. Hedion hands it back to Loscando. Foul going to be called, I think, on Colmenares again. That's 2 quick fouls for him. Just his second personal foul though, so no major worries just yet. Interesting to see if Coach Duro takes him out. Hedion for three. No good this time. Rebound was knocked out of bounds by Rivas. Baseline ball for Venezuela. Unusual to see Gali Soho out jumped. Not many players in the game that can do that. Graterol now brings it up over the half. He'll hand it off. Good ball movement. Soho loses the handle though, and Panama will steal it back into the hands now of Loscando. They're out at the races. Ogilvy goes inside, doesn't get the score. That's great defense by Martinez. So easy to give up a foul in that situation, but he stays with the play. There's the pass inside. Colmenares now. Foul's going to be on the floor, although, in fact, no, Panama only with their second foul of the quarter. So it will be a baseline ball for Venezuela. Unbelievably, we're only 3 minutes in and Venezuela already in the penalty. David Cubian comes back into the action for Venezuela, as does Ruiz. Wendy Graterol heads to the bench, as does Martinez. And this is the joy for Coach Fernando Duro. He can go a long way down his bench before the level of ability drops. As I say that, we see Cubian making a schoolboy error. Hedion puts it inside to Loscando. Strong move. Gives it up to Ogilvy. I think he's fouled. That'll send Ogilvy to the line because Venezuela are already in the penalty. Ernesto Ogilvy plays domestically in Colombia. Had 20.6 rebounds yesterday. Timeout's been called. 6:59 remaining in this second quarter. And Panama continue to struggle. They've only scored 2 points here in the second quarter. And 3 minutes of action. So timeout has been called as Venezuela lead by 14. In fact, it was Coach Duro who called the timeout. Wants to talk things over with his team. Let's head into his huddle.
Quedan 7 minutos, estamos en bonus.
No real surprises, a cool, calm, collected timeout from Coach Duro. He's seen his team exercise control on the game. Offensively, they might not be flying as smoothly as he would like them to be, but defensively, they're doing the job. Although not an example there, as we see Coupien just shoving Tyler Gaskins over and fouling him, but they have limited Panama to just 11 points in 13 minutes of action. Ogilvy now at the line. Comes up way short with that attempt. It's the second of his 2 free throws. Takes his personal tally to 3. Bear in mind, he scored 20 yesterday. Panama applying a little bit more full court pressure now just to try and slow Venezuela down and burn some of their shot clock. They've dropped into a 2-3 zone as well. Let's see how Venezuela respond. They haven't shot the ball well so far. Will this help them get their 3-point game underway? Chaudio catch and shoot off right. Rebound though, won by Venezuela, and the loose ball falls to Gali Soho. Venezuela will go again. Still Venezuelan ball, although good defense from Pablo Rivas. Soho inbounds it long. Elbow jumper fades away, beats the shot clock, clips the ring, so they'll go again with a new 14. Soho inside, Colmenares. Oh, off the glass for the easy score. He is having a wonderful game here today, up to 6 points, also has 6 rebounds. Slowly but surely building towards a double-double for Nestor Colmenares. Foul's going to be called though on Miguel Luis. That's going to send Hedion to the line for 2 shots. There's the pass inside, and just a strong move. I'm not sure you can let him receive the ball and turn uncontested in that position. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to stop. And this is the first of his 2. Six from 8 from the line, Panama this evening. Half of their points coming from that free throw line. Must be a concern for Coach Melendez. Rebound falls favorably for Venezuela. Coupien. Chaudio catch and shoot for 3, and eventually he gets it to go. It was only a matter of time. Chaudio can shoot the ball. He has some serious range. And that is a worry, even more so for Panama now. If the floodgates open from outside, this lead could be blown wide open very quickly. You need to chase Chaudio off the perimeter. Give up some interior presence if you have to. Colmenares, oh, looks for the backdoor cut from Soho. Well read by Luzcando. Strong move inside, gets the score. Brings the decibels from the Venezuelan fans in the arena down a few notches. Eliaza doubles his tally. Shot goes up from outside and quick back-to-back triples for Venezuela. This time it's Colmenares getting in on the act. Luzcando now. And the Panamanian team do not need the crowd to play a big part in this game because it is exceptionally partisan, considering that we aren't in Venezuela, we are in Argentina. Foul's going to be called. I think it's off the ball. Here's a replay of the Chaudio three. Making the net whip in a beautiful way. And here's Colmenares getting in on the act. Hitting a three as well. Sprinkling a little bit of sugar on top of that one. $19-point lead for Venezuela. Soho called for his second foul. Eliaza at the line. And this is the first of his two. And Panama missing free throws is problematic. They're dropping below 60% now. It's the second though. Colmenares being guarded closely by Ogilvy. They need to get it up over the half. They do so. Chaudio from way downtown comes up short. That one's going to spiral straight out of bounds. And you can see that Chaudio has the green light from Coach Duro. Into the game comes Ascanio for Venezuela. And Graterol out of the game, Colmenares and Ruiz. And Panama use the final 4 minutes of this first half to make a dent in this 18-point lead that Venezuela have built. Gaskins uses the roll. Strong move inside, and that's a tough play from Blenman. And he is one of those players that's shown some ability to get to the bucket. That's his second score of the game. Hasn't been on the floor a huge amount of time, just a little over 7 minutes. Cubian hands it to Chaudio, uses a Graterol screen. Cubian for three. That's a long way out and off target. Shot goes up from range. Graterol gratefully rips down the rebound. Chaudio now looking to create some space. The help from Panamanian defense eventually arrives. Chaudio way out, in and out with the three, and he will continue to shoot. I'm not sure he's ever seen a shot he didn't like. He's 1 from 7 from outside now. Don't expect him to slow down the pace that he puts them up though. All inside. Blenman works hard to hold on to that. That's a hustle play from Yosemar Blenman. Luzcando, oh, banked it off the glass. Pure ugly, but when you're in the situation that Panama are in, you will take absolutely anything that the basketball gods give you. That's his first score of the game. Zamora now moves it back. Ascanio, he has his attempt at three, can't get it to go. And a smart play from Gaskins as he throws it off the leg of Chaudio as he's falling out of bounds. Venezuela's lead is down to 13 points. Been up to as much as 19 at one stage. We see Matalan come into the game. Ascanio heads to the bench for Venezuela, and Venezuela are looking to turn the screw a little bit here, applying a little bit more pressure than they have before. Or maybe not more pressure, but certainly earlier in Panama's offense. Nice crossover from Gaskin, but Ayaza can't hold on to it. And that will be another turnover for Panama. Turnover number 9 for them. 2 minutes remaining now in the second quarter. Venezuela lead by 13. Timeout's been called. We have seen the game descend into a little bit of a scrappy, unstructured affair, and coach Fernando Duro wants to talk things over with his Venezuelan team. Coach Duro there just using that timeout really to hit a bit of a reset, get his team back to the structured basketball that enables them to dominate these type of games. They'd fallen into playing more run and gun individualistic basketball. Let's see what impact that has on Venezuela coming out of the timeout. Kubian now. Gratterol inside, little fake, has it stripped away. Gratterol is frustrated because he got the score eventually. Absolute warrior on the floor, Windy Gratterol, but a gentle giant off the floor, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the replay. And yeah, there's the foul from Mataran. In fact, it's been called on Blenman, floating through. Doesn't connect with the first Gratterol. Been part of Venezuelan roster for a long time. Windy Gratterol's played in 4 AmeriCups. His first was back in 2011, where it took place here in Argentina. And they won gold. Good defense by Gratterol, enough to cause issues. Cardio goes to the corner. Chaudio, oh, smart hands from Ayaza, knocks it away. 3.2 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Venezuela. Sideline ball for Venezuela. Gratterol refusing to go where he's been told to. There's the inbound pass, shot clock running down, gets the shot away and draws the foul. Let's see who the officials chalk that one up to. Either Ogilvy or Blenman. Yeah, Blenman, third foul. That's a concern. 1:14 left in this second quarter. If I'm Coach Melendez, I'm probably bringing Blenman out of the game for the rest of this quarter. Certainly don't want him picking up a 4th foul before the halftime break. Zamora connects with the first of his 2. And the second. Didn't even scrape the iron. Both of them bottom of the bucket. Venezuelans lead back out to 16 now. 1 minute 14 left in this first half, and Venezuela applying a 1-2-1-1 press. That one will drop back though. Shot goes up from the elbow and rattles home. It's a smart play in the end by Rivas. Much better to take a shot like that when the Venezuelan defense is slightly broken up. Kubayan now to Chaudio. Chaudio from distance. Once again, no joy. They would be so far ahead if Chaudio had just hit his usual percentage. Shot goes up. Gratterol with another rebound. That's his 4th of the game. About 10 seconds differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Into the corner, wide open, no good. They'd worked the ball well, but the shot just wasn't quite right to finish the playoff. Panama will surely try and take the final shot of the quarter. It's thrown away though, and thrown back again. And they get the score. And that's at least one positive for Panama to take from the first half, as Rivas gets the score just before the half-time buzzer. But that has been another dominant performance from Venezuela. At the halfway stage here in Buenos Aires, Panama 24, Venezuela 36. Venezuela in the ascendancy. Here are your shooting stats from that first half. Neither team shooting well from outside. It's been a bit of a disaster show from range, but both teams shooting over 50% from inside. And the rebounding battle is being dominated by Venezuela. More concerning, if I'm Panama, is how many times I'm turning the ball over. Here's your leading scorers. Colmenares is leading all scorers with 9. Zamora and Chaudio with 7 apiece for Venezuela. Ayaza with 5. Blenman with 4. And Rivas with 4 for Panama. Here are some of the best plays from that first half. Most of them, unfortunately for Panamanian fans, come from the hands of Venezuela. They had an impressive first half of action, particularly the first quarter. They held Panama to just 9 in that first quarter while scoring 15 of their own. The second quarter was tied though, 15 apiece, so Panama certainly found a way back into the game. Panama's scoring is being led by Ayaza. He has 5 points alongside 3 rebounds. On 4 points just behind him is Rivas, and also Blenman is on 4 points. As for Venezuela, as you would expect, they are spreading the love. They have 7 players registering on the scoreboard. Colmenares is leading all scorers with 9 points, well on his way to a double-double as he has 7 rebounds and a steal to his name. Just behind him on 7 points is Zamora and Chaudio. Chaudio at the moment though is trying to get his 3-point shot going. He's just 1 from 7 from outside. So if you're Panama, I think you can be grateful that Chaudio's had a poor night at the office from range. Otherwise this could be a far bigger lead than just 12. In that first half, Venezuela had their lead up to 19 points at one stage, but Panama settled things down and if anything dictated the tempo of the game somewhat towards the latter stages, and that's what enables them to climb and claw their way back into the game. They trail by just 12. Remember, yesterday they lost by 21. So anything above that would be an improvement from yesterday, but still 20 minutes of action to come ahead of us here in Buenos Aires. And at the halfway stage here in Buenos Aires, Panama 24, Venezuela 36.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Lovely pass in transition, put in by Gabriel Peralta. Here's the nice pass. Lovely thread of the needle from Martinez Rojas.
Luzcando, fresh into the game, tries to find some room and does with a beautiful display of footwork to get to the far side.
Marksman though, Fittipaldo, the tough three, that was short. Rebound to Atencia, 3-on-1, here's Atencia, finds Angola, lovely finish. See the great behind the back feed from Atencia to Angola.
In transition, Delfino will take it right back at Paraguay and stretches the lead to 15.
Open look, Fittipaldo for three, yes. He's got that jump shot cooking.
To Herrera, and look out, big throwdown, Sebastian Suarez. And a crushing dunk by Cristiano Felicio. Woo! That's how you run a fast break, straight line pass.
In the discussions, an opportunity to draw something up. Domino resolves. Is he going to get it? No. Soho uses athleticism again. Well, he kind of got caught in the air, flipped it up. It's still good.
Argentina attacking on the interior. Agustin Barreiro with a Buenos Aires blockbuster. How about this from Barreiro? The 22-year-old center going in strong.
Just reaches out and taps it to his teammate, Benite. Benite again, good defense by Chile this time. Caboclo. Oh! That's crushing dunk by Bruno Caboclo.
We have walked this land for a long time. We know how far we've gone, and we're sure of how far we can go. Unity is not just a word here. It's not just a spirit in this sport. It's the way we all move. We are proud of our art, country, family, language, and culture. We are united by basketball.
Welcome to FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022.
Welcome back to Buenos Aires for game day 2 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers here in the Americas. As Venezuela take on Panama at the halfway stage here. Venezuela lead by 12, and we're looking at the highlights from the top scorer for Venezuela. Comunales has 9 points so far in that first half, and he really has bullied his way inside the paint. That said, he also can step out and shoot the three. Plenty of versatility in his offense, as we see players starting to come back onto the floor to warm up now. Now for Panama's top performer, Ayaza. He only has 5 points to his name. They really have spread the scoring in that first half. That was the first of his, in fact, that was his only field goal in the first half. The rest of his points came from the free throw line, Ayaza. And Panama have struggled once again. They've relied on individual talent rather than playing team basketball, and that's caused them issues, as it did yesterday in their game once again against Venezuela. And at the halfway stage, they trail by 12 here in Buenos Aires. Argentina hosting our qualification group for this window. And remember, this is part of the qualification campaign for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. Venezuela would have expected to leave with 2 wins from 2. But they'll be exceptionally happy. Comunales with 9, and then Zamora and Chario have 7 apiece. Cubian hasn't had the impact he would have expected. The quick point guard has controlled, though, used his IQ and enabled the structure of their offense to be aligned with what they need it to be to get this game won. But we've seen other players coming and starting to stake a claim to more minutes. Assanio there. Ascanio really has come in and used his minutes wisely and used them well. Had 8 points in yesterday's game and 4 rebounds, and Coach Duro certainly can sit back and relax slightly, not completely. His team did lead by 19 at one stage. That lead has been pegged back to just 12. I'm sure he won't be happy that that's happened, and I'm sure he's made some changes, some alterations in the locker room during the halftime team talk. And I think it's more on the offensive end than it is the defensive end. At the moment, Panama tracking to be under 50 points in the game, and that's fine from any coach's perspective. I think it's more offensively. At stages in that second quarter, Venezuela moved towards more individualistic offense rather than continuing to lean on their team. Comunales on his way to his double-double, 9.7 rebounds, also a steal to his name as well. He's had an impact for Venezuela. Panama coming back out onto the floor now as well. And Panama really is a work in progress for Coach Melendez. Coach Melendez, plenty of experience, as we see Ayaza with 5 points, Ogilvy with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. They're the leaders for those statistical categories for Panama. But yeah, Coach Melendez knows this is work in progress. He needs to bring together this group of individuals, and that's what they currently are. They're playing as a group of individuals at the moment. If he can find a team identity and use this game to create that identity, and who knows if they can establish it during the game, they could potentially walk away with a shock win here today. Under 3 minutes to play now, until the second half gets underway. Gaskin's getting slightly frustrated today, had 10 points in yesterday's game. Hasn't scored so far in today's game, only taken 2 attempts though. But he's shown some of his frustrations on the floor as well. But it really is almost a storming phase of this team as they come together. Ayaza leading them in points with 5 points. He also has 3 rebounds. Certainly come on and made an impact to this Panama squad. But it really is now, as we're getting closer to the second half, going to come down to Panama making a change. If all continues the way it did in the first half, then Venezuela will walk away with a relatively comfortable win again. They'll leave the first qualification window with 2 wins. and an unbeaten record, whereas Panama will already be on the back foot, having chalked up 2 losses in this first window. So it is down to Panama. What can they do? How can they make a change? How can they adapt within game to firstly disrupt Venezuela's offense? They certainly did that towards the back end of that first half, but they also need to get their own offense firing, and you just feel it's not going to come from leaning on 1 or 2 players, that they do have to work together as a unit to create space. They saw glimpses of it in that first half where they were creating open shots, but they need to maximize the opportunities that they have, which they certainly didn't do in the first half. Players returning to their benches now as we're under a minute away from the start of the second half, and I'll take the opportunity just to remind you, if you want to stay on top of all these World Cup qualifiers all around the world, remember this isn't just happening in the Americas, this is happening all around the world, with nations going up against each other in a huge number of games across 4 or 5 day period. As we see some fans having some photos taken. Please do download the World Cup app. It's an absolute wonderful companion to sit alongside you whilst you're watching the games progress. You can keep up to date with the box score, and then when the game's over, you can catch the press conference, look at some interviews, some reviews, jump into the highlight videos. So much going on that app, so make sure you download that onto your phone straight away. The 5 from Panama come back out. King back on the floor, which is interesting. Little over a minute played in the first half for Daniel King, veteran big man. Played 7 minutes in yesterday's game, and maybe that's part of the process for Melendez, looking to throw a change, something different, to see if that could unsettle the Venezuelan team. Let's see how Coach Duro and his players react. Second half action underway here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. World Cup qualifier, game day 2, Panama 24, Venezuela 36. That's the halftime score. Zamora, right hand teardrop, gets it to go. Beautiful soft floater from Zamora. Oh, and they're going to apply pressure here, Venezuela. See if they can break Panama early in this third quarter. Into the corner, wide open 3. Rivas, no good. Ruiz pulls down the rebound. Colmenares, leading scorer for Venezuela, just throws it away, but he's claiming it's off the hand of Panamanian player, but the officials say no, you've just thrown it out of bounds, so it'll be a Panama ball on the baseline. Kando looking for something in front of him, nothing there so far, and that pass is way off target. He was looking to find Ogilvy, but it was almost a meter above where Ogilvy was. So another turnover, and Venezuela will come back the other way. Kubian. Nice little hesitation, didn't create the space he needed it to though. Shot clock down to 2, Chaudio throws it away, offensive foul, it's going to be called on Chaudio. What a great stand by King. That'll be a baseline ball for Panama. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, just takes the stand. It's a smart move. He knew that Chaudio was in a rush. Shot clock running out. Just put the body on the line. Only the first foul on Chaudio though, so no worries for them. Luscando no good as he drives to the basket. The Venezuelan defense collapses well. Chaudio at the elbow, heavy-handed, and the foul's going to be called on King as he almost drags Ruiz off the baseline. Baseline ball for Venezuela. Cubian will bring it back to the top. Colmenares puts up the long shot. That one looked like it was almost down, but it bobbled back out again. Oh, well read by Cubian. Floats through, steals it away, and he'll instigate the offense going the other way. Oh, good interception. That's a read by Luscando. Ball's thrown away. Another turnover chalked up to Panama. Things certainly aren't getting any easier. Turnover number 13 for them. There's the interception by Cubian. Zamora now. Venezuela spreading the floor, spacing it so well. Colmenares crossover, tries to lose his defense and does so. Great use of the pivot there, creating space between him and Ogilvy. Ogilvy inadvertently finds King. King for the mid-range jumper, doesn't get the roll. And Panama once again look like they're on the ropes here. Cubian off the foot of Daniel King, so that will be remain possession to Venezuela. There's a replay. Colmenares enjoyed it, that's for sure. And, I can confirm that we enjoyed it as well. Cubian passes it inside. Easy layup for Miguel Ruiz. And Venezuela are absolutely flying right now. A 6-0 start to the third quarter for Venezuela. Spin move, ball knocked away. They've got the break. Chaudio skips it. Cubian for three. Oh, in and out. And you hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. Certainly a predominantly Venezuelan crowd here in the arena in Buenos Aires. Spin move, drops to the baseline, gets the score. That's a strong play by Ogilvy. He'll head to the free throw line for the bonus opportunity. It's a nice pass from King as well. And it was that first move that spun Zamora the other way. There's the inside pass for the easy score at the other end for Ruiz. And Ogilvy makes the most of the opportunity, and Panama certainly need to. They're the first points of the third quarter for Panama. We're over 4 minutes into the game. Slightly reminiscent of the first quarter when they only scored 9 points in the entire quarter. Colmenares gets slightly body checked on his way through. No call from the officials though. Oh, cycle back out to the top now to Gaskins. Fed inside, Ogilvy hands it off. Shot goes up and smart hustle by Ascanio. Gets the extra offensive rebound and a soft touch to tap it back in. Does get the warning from the officials though for delay of game. Sorry, that was Rivas getting the score. Kubian now to Soho. Zamora complaining to the officials for the treatment he's getting from Lascando. Colmenares, good ball movement. Shot clock down to 4 though. Soho, fadeaway, fouled. Rivas called for the foul. He's not happy with the call. Well, that will send Soho to the line. There was just 2.3 seconds left on the shot clock when the foul was blown. Panama had done a great job up to that point and locking them out. Ngali Soho now at the free throw line. As Venezuela makes some wholesale changes to their playing roster. Martinez has come back into the action for Venezuela. Soho hits the first of his 2. And the second. That one's knocked away. Foul is going to be called though as Ogilvy barrels through Ruiz. First foul for Ogilvy. Only the 3rd foul, team foul of the quarter for Panama. Neither team in the penalty just yet. We're through the halfway stage of this 3rd quarter and Venezuela leads by 15. Soho fades away. Great defense though by Rivas. And we see Ruiz trying to help back but reaches in and creates the foul. Sideline possession for Panama now. A little bit scrappy for the last couple of minutes of the game. Neither team asserting themselves on this one, and if you're Venezuela and Coach Duro, you just want to be slightly aware that complacency can set in. Timeout has been called here. 4:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Panama 29, Venezuela 44. Coach Melendez has called the timeout for Panama. Let's head into that huddle and hear what he has to say.
Mike va a estar aquí, Mike va a estar aquí y Trébol aquí. Ok, Rivas, tú sacas la bola. Sí. Aquí, atiende. No, tú aquí. Sigue aquí. Tú vas a hacer la cortina para que Trébol venga. Tú. Mauro, cuando la coja Trébol aquí. Cuando Trébol la coja aquí, tú vas a hacer este pica a él y tú vas a traer a Mike. Tú vas a traer a Mike desde aquí. Mira, Trébol, mira cuando coja esto si tienes a Mike ahí. Si no, hand off con él. Hand off con él. Pablo se queda aquí en la esquina.
Coach Melendez just working his team, trying to find some of the finer points that will maybe enable them to break this down, because realistically for Panama, if they can get this into a single-digit deficit, then all bets are off. You couldn't say which team were going to head away with the win. Nice little jab step by Hicks, and that gets them the score. Venezuela's lead is slowly but surely eroding. It's down to just 13 now. As after a slow start to the quarter, Panama are starting to heat up again. Kubian to Gratterol. Offensive foul is going to be called on Windy Gratterol. Second foul for Gratterol. Baseline ball for Panama. As we see, Daniel King take another charge. That's the second charge he's taken, and he certainly has helped since being on the floor, particularly on the defensive end. Hicks now drives inside, loses the handle. That's going to be a Venezuelan ball. Michael Hicks smiling to the officials. I don't think he's happy. Let's have a look at the replay. Contact was taken on the chest. Coach Melendez, I'm sure, has something to say as well. Soho. Kubian. Step back three. Nails it. Gali Soho with a sweet, sweet move. Beautifully executed step back three. Good timing from Venezuela as well. The offense had slowed down. Into the low post. Smart move. Almost came off for Ogilvy. Let's have a look at the replay. Look at him step in, step back. Cool, calm, collected. Gets the jumper away and rattles that one down for the triple. That foul was called on Martinez. Venezuela in the penalty, so that will send Ogilvy to the line for 2 free throws. Ogilvy just 6 points so far this evening, scored 20 against Venezuela yesterday. Misses the free throw. That makes him 2 from 5 from the free throw line. And in games like this, when you're Panama and you're struggling to get points on the board, low free throw shooting percentages really are a crime. Rattles home the second. Takes his tally to 7 points now. Blocking foul is going to be called on Daniel King for that one, I think. Or was there a foul before? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's the foul before from behind. Poor old Daniel King takes the heavy charge. But one of his teammates had fouled previously to taking the charge. So it'll be a Venezuelan ball. Plenty of sweat on the floor to be mopped up before we can get going. As we see Martinez head to the bench for Venezuela. They really are a strong unit, a real team identity, this Venezuelan national team. Kubian at the top. Double team comes across. Gattaro can't hold on to it. It's off some shins and some knees, but eventually into the hands of Hicks. Into the low post for Ogilvy. Rivas rattles home the three. Trims Venezuela's lead back down to 12. A little over 2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Rivas now up to 9 points. Chaudio uses a Gratterol screen. Kubian pulls the trigger on a three. That's a tough three. Gratterol with the rebound. Chaudio wide open, nails the three. That's his second triple of the night. And you can hear what it means to the fans. They know that Chaudio is really dynamite, ready to go off if you leave him open for three. Got the mismatch. Gratterol going inside to defend. And defend he does against Ogilvy. Chaudio now on the outside. Three goes up from Kubian and he hits it back-to-back threes for Venezuela. And what was a shrinking lead quickly accelerates back out to 18. Under 90 seconds left in the quarter. Ogilvy kicks it back out to Hicks. Hicks misses. Rebound pulled down by Soho. Listen to the fans. They're making themselves heard. Kubian, no good. Offensive rebound for Soho, but can't tip it in the right direction. Panama will bring it back the other way. As we enter the final minute of the third quarter, and what was on a slow boil for the majority of this quarter seems to have, bubbled over in the last minute or so. Blocking foul is going to be called on Chaulio. Didn't quite get himself established, and Ogilvy just clattered into him. Here's the three from Chaulio that received such joy from the fans. And Kubian added to that moments later. Majority of the fans here in the arena, even though we're in Buenos Aires, are Venezuelan. As we see King head back to the bench, he's certainly done a job since he's come on the floor. There's no two ways about that. Provided far more interior presence than maybe they've had at other points in the game. On the defensive end, not really made a huge impact offensively. Ogilvy better at the line this time, hits the first of his two. Only went 1 from 2 last trip. This time he's perfect from the line. 51 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Ogilvy up to 9 points personal now. Venezuelan lead at 16. Chaulio loses the handle. Hicks dives on it, but the loose ball eventually falls to Venezuela. Foul is going to be called on Ogilvy. And Venezuela will head to the line for 2 free throws. Ascanio heavy-handed with the first of his 2. Yet to score today, Ascanio. Played a little over 11 minutes so far. Does have 2 assists to his name and 2 steals, though, so still contributing to the lead for Venezuela. Rattles home the second to get himself off the mark with regards to points. 33.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Venezuela will get another possession. Ogilvy moves it back round. Rivas now drives inside, looks to go off the right hand, can't get it to go. Gratterol picks it down, and shot clock's going to be turned off, as Venezuela will probably look to take the last shot of the quarter. They lead by 17. Gratterol jumps inside, doesn't get the score. And that will be the buzzer for the end of the third quarter. Once again, Venezuela getting out early in the third quarter. Panama working hard to get back into it at the end of 3. Panama 37, Venezuela 54. Here are your shooting stats from the game so far. As you can see, Venezuela, their three-point shooting percentages are increasing as the game goes on. That would be a worry if you're Panama. Here are some of the best plays from that third quarter. The fans are certainly enjoying themselves in the stands, and to help your enjoyment at home, definitely download the official World Cup app on iOS and Android. no reason not to join in. And isn't it wonderful? After the years of no fans in the stands, we now have them back. We have them enjoying the festival that is basketball in all its glory. And they certainly are enjoying it. The majority of the fans here today for this game are Venezuelan. Venezuela lead by 17 points at the end of 3 quarters. Ten more minutes to play here. Venezuela clearly look like they're very close to securing their second win of the window, their second win over Panama. But if Panama couldn't have a near perfect quarter, change things up, there is still the chance they could sneak a big upset here, and it would be a hell of a comeback win if they can. Straight away, Panama get the score. Hicks with his first points of the game, unbelievably. He only had 3 in yesterday's game. Inside to Gratterol. Good ball movement. Back to Ascanio. Gets the score, draws the foul. Rattles home the extra from the free throw line. Venezuelan lead at 18. They've once again put in a workhorse performance. Panama throw it away. Do they hold on to it? Yes, they do, just about. Ogilvy going to the bucket, no joy, and Ogilvy within the 3rd quarter and now in the 4th. Looks like he's trying to take the team offensively on his shoulders and do as much as he can himself. Kubiat, good ball movement, but Panama's defense flexes and rotates well. Ascanio no good. Ascando with the rebound. Gaskins comes back out. Kick to the left. Ogilvy again with the shot, no good. Rebound eventually falls into the hands of Chaudio. Tyler Gaskins called for the foul. Not sure how many cards Coach Melendez has left to play. He's going to bring Ayaza back into the game. He was the leading scorer in the first half. A little over 8 minutes left on the clock. And Venezuela will start clock managing now to a certain degree as well. They hold a pretty strong hold on this game in what is a relatively low scoring game. Leading by 18. Should be enough to see them through, but the problem you've got is potentially complacency slips in as Chaudio makes a mistake. And Coach Duro knows that all too well. 14th turnover for Venezuela. He won't be happy with that. They were certainly better with regards to that yesterday. They only had 6 turnovers in yesterday's game. There's the pass inside and the smart finish by Ayaza. Comes back into the game and makes an impact straight away. He's up to 7 points personal. Soho being guarded closely by Lukandu. Shot's no good for Gali Soho. Hicks now inside, draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line. There's the pass inside before to Ayaza, and the easy score for him. Treble substitution for Venezuela as we see Colmenares come back into the game, Zamora come back in, and Ruiz. Gets the second to go. And fair credit to Panama. It would have been easy to see Venezuela just run off into the distance here, but they have continued to plug away and fight to reduce the gap. And although they've not been able to dramatically reduce the gap, it has meant that they've stayed in the game. They've been competitive. It's Cando now. Clatters the advertising board. Zamora. Beautiful soft right-hand jumper. That's a tough skill to execute. He was on the move. There's Cando now. Brings it through. Lenman looks to pass it to Ayaza, but Chaudio read it well. Lenman to Ayaza. Mid-range 2 is no good. Rebound falls into the hands of Cubiat. Again, not the biggest tonight for David Cubiat. 3 points, 2 assists. He's only 1 from 8 from the field. It hasn't gone his way. Struggled in yesterday's game as well, Cubiat. At times, had 14 points, but wasn't the facilitator that we're used to. Only had 4 assists. Colmenares picks up his 4th foul. Oscando just picks his way through the Venezuelan defense. And gets the score. Venezuela's lead now trimmed back to 16. Cubiat, once again, he fails to get the bucket, but the offensive rebound is pulled down by Venezuela. Chaudio rains down the 3 again. And you feel the anticipation from the crowd whenever he's open from range. And he never fails to entertain, as you can see, the crowd enjoying it. Foul's going to be called on, I think, Gaskins. Here's a replay of the previous play where we had kind of an adapted Euro step there from Oscando, and Chaudio in slow motion is a thing of beauty as it whips through the net for the triple. Colmenares got a little bit ahead of himself there as he turns the ball over again. Timeout's going to be called. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this game. Venezuela lead by 18. Let's listen to this huddle.
Mauro está aquí. Cuando lleguemos, llega tú aquí, porque si te la dan a ti y te giras, tú tienes la penetración en el preseo. ¿Atiendes? ¿Atiendes? El que cogió el pique aquí, el que cogió este que viene, no tengo nada con este pique. Hand off con el tirador de aquí, hand off. Jueguen eso nada más lo que resta, jueguen eso nada más.
Coach Melendez trying to make some maybe final adjustments to the team to see if they can have any impact, drag themselves back into this one. They trail by 18 as it stands. Under 5 minutes to play. It would potentially take quite a miracle for them to come away with the win here, but that's not all that's up to play for here. The points difference situation is important. As I said earlier, within Group A, they are joined by Paraguay and Argentina, who will play later today. And top 3 will go through. So for Panama, it might be a fight out between themselves and between them and Paraguay, as the way the first qualification window has gone. Ruiz has called for his first foul, but as Cando can't get the score. No joy with the second either. And that's certainly problematic if you're Panama. They're the easiest chances for points they're going to have in this game. Zamora now. Double teamed, and the defense is just a little bit too intense. They've done all the hard work, but then they reached in. Foul's called. Panama in the penalty for the next foul. So any more in Venezuela will get a few trips to the free throw line. 4.5 minutes remaining. Ogilvy with his 4th foul as well. He's their most impactful offensive player, so he won't want to pick up his 5th. Gaskin lets Kubayan roll past him, and Kubayan gets his first 2-point field goal and his first points of the second half. Chaudio gets a hand in the passing lane, knocks it away, but it will remain Panama ball. Coach Melendez, I think, slightly frustrated with his team's performance here this evening. I have a feeling they didn't quite follow the game plan as Cando gets it swatted away. Much to the enjoyment of the fans, Miguel Ruiz bats that one off the baseline. Have a look again. Ruiz just times it perfectly, or is it Zamora? No, it's Ruiz with the monster swat. Cando looks to thread the eye of the needle, and the needle closes out. Kubayan gets the score, back-to-back buckets for him. Pass inside, Ogilvy. And that's just down to Ogilvy not playing any transition defense and really just waiting for the ball to come back the other way. Kubayan now. Colmenares hands it back to him. Chaudio shaping for the shot, but the defense have broken through the screen well enough. Chaudio from range. Too heavy. Rebound into the hands of Hicks. Strong move to the basket. Wise move from Colmenares to step out of the way. It's only going to end in one way, and that would have been a foul. Ogilvy now up to 13 points personal, shooting 45% from 2. Zamora now has it knocked away, and Panama getting their hands in the passing lane. Zamora gets the shot away, but it doesn't hit the rim. So it's going to be a shot clock violation. Better defense there from Panama. There's another replay of the swat. You can see his teammates on the bench enjoyed it. And the fans did too. That one will be on the highlight reel at the end of the game, that's for sure. 18-point lead for Venezuela, a little over 2.5 minutes left on the game clock. Hicks now double teamed. Has it stolen away, does he? No, Ogilvy just about holds on to possession. He's going to try and back his way in. Little spin move, floats it high enough over the outstretched hand of Ruiz to get the score. And Panama continue to chip away at Venezuela. Bian now, looking at the top, trying to work out where the screen's going to come from. There's the pass inside, and there's the score. Cisneros gets the score, cutting the baseline beautifully. Gaskins now at the top. Looks for the screen. Cisneros playing the defense on him. Backdoor cut is good, but the defense is better. And the score is there, though, for Hicks. A little over 90 seconds left on the game clock. Hicks takes himself to double digits as we see Bracho Escobar come back into the game for the first time. And I think we see Graterol enter the action. Hicks with the score. Bracho now brings it up over the half. One of the less familiar faces in the Venezuelan team, Bracho. There's good defense though, and Ayaza can only knock it out of bounds. Bracho making amends for the mistake he made, and Coach Melendez looking very deep in thought, and there's plenty for him to think about after this qualification window. His team will have lost 2 games to Venezuela. Still Paraguay and Argentina to come for them in the first round. Shot goes up and is good. Venezuela haven't shot the ball particularly well from outside, but Gali Soho drains the 3. As we enter the final minute of action, Soho up to double digits as well. That's his second triple of the night. Oh, and the steal. Can't keep it in bounds, though. Yeah, Coach Melendez will be wondering if it's structural changes or personnel changes that he'll need to make for the second qualification window. Gaskins inside, draws the foul. Will head to the line for 2 free throws. As Coach Duro almost pulls the hair out of his head with frustration. And that's a sign of a coach who expects a lot from his team. They've led by 22 at one stage in this game. Their lead is now at 19, but they've always held Panama at arm's length. After claiming the lead early in that first quarter. Venezuela have led the game for nearly 35 minutes. Little conversation from the official to Graterol and Ogilvy. Gaskins back at the line. As Ogilvy heads into the restricted, the paint too early, so that one gets waved away. 47 seconds remaining. And a little bit more ill-tempered this game than it has been for the rest of the 40 minutes. Soha throws it back now to Zamora. Soho has it knocked away by Ayaza. It will remain Venezuela ball. 9 seconds on their shot clock. And this is job done for Venezuela, really. It's not been a stellar performance. Definitely areas that they can improve on. Unforced errors are plenty for Venezuela. But they'll leave the first qualification window with a perfect record, and you cannot ask any more than that. Shot clock down to 2. Zamora fades away, gets the shot away, no joy. Graterol with the offensive rebound. His 8th rebound of the game. Into the hands of Cisneros. In and out for 3. And Panama will bring it the other way. Ayaza now. And Cisneros kicks it out of bounds. So Panama ball, 3.2 seconds remaining. And Coach Duro will be content. His team have done what they needed to do in the first qualification window. 2 wins out of 2. There's the final buzzer here in Buenos Aires. And a strong Venezuelan performance gives them their 2nd win against Panama on the bounce. Final score here, Panama 53, Venezuela 71. Not a perfect performance from Venezuela, but a very good one. All orchestrated by Coach Fernando Duro. Plenty of Venezuelan fans in the stands here in Buenos Aires. You can hear them showing their appreciation for the men in blue. And really is job done. Qualification window 1, box ticked. They walk away with 2 wins over a struggling Panamanian team. But that means nothing to Venezuela. You beat what's put in front of you, and that's what they've done 2 nights in a row now here in Buenos Aires. They will now look forward to the 2nd qualification window. Okay, 2nd qualification window takes place in February, where Venezuela will face Argentina on the Friday and Paraguay on the Monday. That's the 25th and 28th of Feb, respectively. As for Panama, they'll see the reverse of that. They'll face Paraguay on the Friday, the 25th of Feb, and Argentina on Monday, the 28th of Feb. The final qualification window is in June and July. Here's your shooting statistics for the game. Neither team shooting particularly well from outside. Panama, a really poor showing from the free throw line. Venezuela got better from outside in the 3rd quarter. They dominated the rebounding battle. They applied plenty of pressure on the defensive end, coming away with 13 steals. Top scorer in the game was Ogilvy for Panama. Hicks had 10, Rivas had 9. For Venezuela, Chaurio with 13, Zamora with 11, and Colmenares with 11 as well. Here are your highlights from that 2nd half of action. Plenty of highlights to have a look at, that's for sure. Venezuela continued to dominate. They really did almost replicate the 1st quarter when they came out of the locker room for the 3rd quarter. They outscored Panama by just 5, but they held Panama to 13 points again in that 3rd quarter. And throughout the game, Panama really did struggle to get anything going on the offensive end, limited to 53 points in the entire game. Slightly down on the 56 they scored yesterday. For Venezuela, their leading scorer was Chaurio. He had 13. He was 3 from 10 from deep. He also had 3 rebounds, an assist, and maybe more importantly, 3 steals. Also in double digits was Colmenares with 11 points. He completed his double-double, picking up 10 rebounds. Soho also had, Zamora also had 11 points, and Soho had 10 points and 5 rebounds. As for Panama, their leading scorer was Ogilvy. He had 20 yesterday, 15 today, and alongside his 15 points today, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Only other player in double digits for Panama was Michael Hicks. The veteran had 10 points and 4 rebounds from his 23 minutes of action. So Venezuela with the chance to end this first qualification window top of the group, depending on how the Argentina game against Paraguay goes later today here in Buenos Aires. Any which way, Venezuela won't mind whether it's 1st or 2nd, as long as they leave with a perfect record, which they have, 2 wins from 2. But what a game we've had here in Buenos Aires. Thank you for joining me. Here's your table so far. As I say, Venezuela top of the table, but we have Paraguay, Argentina later on today, 20 past 10 local time. So still plenty to play for. But Venezuela, job done. Panama, back to the drawing board. Coach Melendez, plenty of work to do between now and February. End score here in Buenos Aires. Panama 53, Venezuela 71. Thank you so much for joining me.